Greetings, I'm CB, your psychic coach. Thank you for taking the time to watch my show. As the first episode, I wanted to cover some of what this show is going to be about, as well as some information about me. First, this show is to help people who are discovering that they may have some psychic abilities to learn more about what they are, how to do them, and help them grow. I teach many classes, and I wanted to come over into this format to help other people so I could reach a broader audience and help them. Also, I want to help people understand some of the intricacies of what it is to be psychic, what it is to be a medium, and a lot of the things that exist out there in the metaphysical or New Age world. These videos are going to run about 6 to 8 minutes or so in length, and they're going to cover all sorts of topics. Everything from some of the simple stuff like what does it mean to be psychic, to some of the more complex things like tarot readings or runes or ghosts and things like that. So I plan over the coming weeks, months, and years to cover a whole bunch of information and share it with you. If I don't get to your topic immediately, you can always contact me and ask me if I would like, please do a special episode. I'd be happy to do so. Add it in there in my weekly rotation. So I'm sorry some of this may not be movie studio perfect, but unfortunately I'm a psychic and not a videographer, so we're just going to have to go with what I can do. So let's learn a little bit about me and why I'm doing this. First of all, I started this journey as a skeptic. I did not believe in psychics. Psychics were, well, for me, a joke. They were people who scammed people, people who were dishonest, things like that. And of course I always thought that if I needed a psychic, the psychic would call me because they would know I needed them. Well, I've learned a lot since those days of being a skeptic. One of my first real experiences for me in my growth happened in St. Augustine, Florida. St. Augustine is one of the original cities in the Americas, and as a result it is also very haunted. I went on a ghost tour while on vacation there, and the ghost tour guide stopped us at a cemetery and told us that this was going to be the best location in the whole tour to encounter a ghost if we were to encounter one. So, as she made her presentation about the cemetery, I was looking all around, in the trees, on the walls, everywhere, looking for a ghost to appear, because I had no idea what I was looking for. So, as she wrapped up, the group moved on, and I stayed behind at the cemetery looking in through the gates, hoping that I would spot something that to me resembled a ghost. I don't know if it was going to be like Casper or something else, but I was open to anything. After a few minutes of this, and as my frustration rose, I eventually took a step back from the gates and I told the ghosts to bring it. Well, Florida in July, the nights are upper 80s, low 90s. The temperature around me at that point in time when I told the ghost to bring it dropped around me. Felt like it was down in the 60s or the 50s. I got really cold, got a shiver, all the hair on my body stood on its end. I had no idea what was going on. This kind of freaked me out, so I quickly caught back up with the group. Didn't mention it to anybody because I really didn't know what had happened. Well, a couple weeks later at the job I was doing at the time, I met a woman, and when I asked her what she did for a living, she said, well, you remember that movie Ghostbusters with Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray? I said, well, yeah. She said, well, that's what I do. Well, I told her about my experience in St. Augustine, and she told me that I was psychically gifted. I was clairsentient, or in a more simple term, an empath. Basically, I can feel energy. Well, I stuck that in my back pocket because at the time it really didn't mean a lot to me. It wasn't important in my life, so I just kind of moved on. Over time, I would start being awoken at night, in the middle of the night, between 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning. This is what is referred to by a lot of ghost hunters and a lot of psychics and mediums as the feeding hour for ghosts. Basically what it is that they will come in and interrupt your sleep at that time so they can get a little bit of energy off of you. Well, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would feel like something looking back at me, but I was alone in the room. How could that be? Well, remembering the whole thing about the ghosts and the clairsentient and being able to feel energy, I decided I had to learn more. So I started out by getting involved with a local ghost hunting group where I could go around and I could experience ghosts firsthand. Fortunately for me, I was able to meet other people who were also clairsentient and gifted in that group, and they could help me develop and grow. As time went on and I learned more about it, I went to a local metaphysical store where I could take classes on developing my psychic abilities, because I knew there was more to this and I wanted to pursue it. So I spent about a year there learning, and after a while a group that met there at the store, we moved on, formed our own group, and we started working and teaching each other and learning a lot about the different facets of being psychic, being a medium, metaphysical stuff. Just really a good weekly class. Well, after a while I started to get a pull. For some reason I felt a pull towards tarot. So I went out and bought myself a tarot deck, learned how to read them, and then I started giving readings, first to my classmates and then to friends. And what was interesting is all of them told me that I was really good at it and that I should do this, more as a job. So I became a professional tarot reader as a result. But that wasn't the end of it for me. Because I knew I could feel energy and I was good with it, I went on to learn Reiki. I became a Reiki master teacher and have learned a lot about how to help people with Reiki. And then from there, I learned that as I've grown, Spirit, my guides, angels, however you want to look at it, have given me more stuff. Well, last year they opened me up to the Akashic Records, and I have learned how to go into the Akashic Records and how to show people what their pasts are. The Akashic Records are the book of life, and in that I go back and I take a look at past lives, reincarnations, soul groups, things like that, to help people understand some of the things they're encountering in this life, why they're encountering it, and how to help them with it. Well, that's basically my story. I wanted to sit here and give this information to you. I appreciate you watching the show. I'm going to try and have a weekly update every week with a new topic, a new subject. Sometimes these will be maybe 2 or 3 episodes in length, whatever it takes to cover the information to provide to you. My contact information will also be here at the end of the show. So if you wish to reach out and email me, or you can find me on Facebook, either at facebook.com/cbpsychic or facebook.com/yourpsychiccoach. You can connect with me that way as well. So I do readings as well. I do offer them via phone, Skype, or in person, depending upon where you are to me. So if you would like to reach out for readings, I do them by appointment. So I appreciate you taking the time again to watch this. Thank you so much.